Thank God it's Friday. I'm so excited. Friday is certainly my favorite day of the week. Do you know why?
Why? Because Panturakin said, thank God it's Friday. It's already weekend.
I'm so excited. It's already weekend. Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central. For the next 3 hours, so many big stories will be looked at. There's been a recent update that we're going to be exploring as well. Not very comfortable information. We're hoping that we can get both sides of the divide to come and share the story here on Breakfast Central. Yeah. I am Olive MOD. Thank you.
You know why I'm clapping?
Thank you, thank you, guys.
No, it's not for you. It's for our esteemed viewers at home.
Wow. Yeah.
Because they've made a very important decision this morning. They've decided to start their morning the right way. On Breakfast Central.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Kunduz to them.
Kundusi. You guys deserve this. I mean, where else would you want to start your day than with us here on Breakfast Central, where we serve you like it's hot. We give you all the information we need, fantastic analysis, and beautiful, handsome, beautiful, smiley faces to start your day.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, one of my regrets in life is that I can't watch me in person, except on playback.
Oh.
I can imagine the joy of our viewers at home.
Okay.
What they are enjoying,
it's
but
okay.
I can't enjoy it. Only if I photocopy myself.
And photocopy, go easy.
Go easy.
Yeah.
It's true. So,
okay.
welcome
the floor is yours now.
Are you guys done?
We are done.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Breakfast Central. It's Friday, and I'm not too excited, and there are reasons why I'm not too excited.
Explain.
So let me remove my glasses so I can.
It's giving Ikeja Clark Kent with your glasses.
It's okay. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Anyway, it's Friday. What we do usually when we start off the show, we try to loosen up because waking up from the early hours of the day. A friend of mine always said, he thinks it's madness for you to wake up in the morning and the first thing you do is to shout, politics, Nigeria, Nigeria. Are we okay?
Exactly. That's why
mentally, are we okay? I said, okay, I think I see where it's coming from. So that's why when we start off on Breakfast Central, we take it easy first before we go into...
Ease you into the politics.
Correct. That's it.
As the sun is rising, the politics is also rising. It's coming up.
Can I please give a disclaimer? If it's your first time watching the show, they're not always this badly behaved. Today is Friday. Everybody's in high spirits. We're just so excited. I think that I began to understand the importance of Friday when I started working Monday through Friday. When I was a little more flexible and freelance, when people be shouting to GIF, I'm just like, why are you shouting to GIF? You canal folks, you want to go to the clubhouse? Is that why you're excited about Friday? But now, I think that, you know, waking up every day at 4 a.m. to do this, I'm grateful for the opportunity, but then I'm even very excited. And I'm hoping that in celebration of Workers' Day that was yesterday, we can have those policies implemented to better the lives of Nigerians, which is, for example, that we have 4 days a week to work and 3 days for the weekend. Monday to Thursday, work week.
That's a proposal.
Friday to Sunday, weekend. You will see that the quality and productivity of the Nigerian worker will shoot off the roof.
I agree.
Very true.
Yeah.
But let's start off with our wake-up conversation, especially if you are one of those who has been nurturing the hope that, come what may, you trust that the Nigerian operatives related to economic graft, or you say financial institutions like the EFCC, will be able to help you recover your money from a purported company known as CBEX.
Wow.
This morning, we might want to remind you that you have to start all over again.
I told you. I said it that time.
That
they were just giving false hope.
The story is that EFCC has come out to say that, one, CBEX has resumed operations despite the Securities Exchange Commission ban. So CBEX is still looking, and you know I also told you this too. So we're like, you know, we're like
victims.
Yeah, you both.
I mentioned that someone who fell victim had told me and did a video showing that the moment CBEX crashed, in terms of, you know, they moved to another portal and told people to come and invest. This time it's in dollars, and they called it exclusive. And guess what? The gullible Nigerians, in quotes, who are greedy, started migrating there and saying how much. So she said she moved into to see what they were doing. And they said, okay, how much do we drop? They said, oh, you start from XYZ dollars. And so she said,
what I heard wasn't that. What I heard was that when they couldn't access their monies, they then created another platform and told them that for you to be able to access your money, you need to be able to pay pay a certain amount so you get a password or a code to be able to access your account. And that, of course, people did that. And that one I would understand, because when people are desperate, they're not thinking. If you've invested your life savings, a little more, and that's the way fraud works. Just a little more doesn't seem like so much to you.
A little more multiplied by 100.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little 2,000 here, 5,000 here to be able to access my money wouldn't be so bad. But it's really an unfortunate situation. The EFCC has said that CBEX is traced to 4 different countries, and because of the fact that it's international bodies involved, it's a bit difficult. It's most likely impossible to get all the monies back. But I think that one we already knew. How many fraudulent Ponzi schemes have we seen exactly till today? How many have we been able to recover their monies? How many have people gotten their monies back? So I think it goes without saying that it was already almost a done deal. The only thing that we hope, the only way that justice can be said to be gotten from this is, one, to ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book. They may not get all of them, but at least they should get the mastermind behind
They pointed out they're looking for 4. They also showed another person, a white person yesterday, that he's wanted for criminal crimes and so on.
Yeah. And the second thing they need to do to ensure that there will be some form of justice is to go on a massive, intense campaign against Ponzi schemes.
They mentioned
National Orientation Agency needs to help us too. There needs to be a lot of noise, because the truth is, you and I, or the 3 of us here, and some of our audience watching, yes, okay, those ones have the privilege of knowing what these Ponzi schemes are and how to flag off, how to see the red flags. The rural people, the average Nigerians, people are desperate. So we need to go radio, TV, go to the market, have conversations with people and just make as much noise as we can about the telltale signs of a Ponzi scheme, and just encourage Nigerians that, look, if you lose your money, it's not going to come back to you. Anything that promises you money that is too good to be true is most likely too good to be true.
Because there's only so much EFCC and Security and Exchange Commission
can do to get them. We need to be more proactive.
Due diligence yourself.
So what is Nigeria's national orientation doing? It's something.
They have a budget.
Gone are those days. I mean, while growing up, I remember so well that when we used to listen to Radio Nigeria, and all that, you would hear a lot of adverts sensitizing you.
Public service
in Pidgin English, in Hausa, in Yoruba, in Igbo. And they will tell you, oh, please don't do this. I remember one of the adverts back then. I remember I was very young, and they were talking about waste, not throwing your waste, so and so on. I remember there was a Pidgin, explanation to that. If you throw away your waste now, so the water, it was clear. So they were able to cover all cadres. It doesn't matter your class. If you're A class down to D or E, everyone would understand the message. It will be passed. But like Oliver has highlighted, and that's the truth, if they take time to, disseminate, pass, share, encourage, teach, put everything together, anyhow you want to put it, but teach the average Nigerian that this is what you get, it will make it easier on the likes of EFCC. So when people lose their money, first thing you do is to do what? To refer to what we've been telling you. And then it's clear than telling them that, don't worry, we'll recover your funds. And now you're coming out to say it's not possible. It's not going to be possible,
Yeah. So from that sad news, for those who were victims, I think we should move to positive news. And this positive news comes with a pinch of salt, because many people will think, but then the person that is making the statement has done something in the recent past that might make Nigerians believe him, because he's become one of those performing ministers. I would say personally, one of the things I've gained in this administration, one of the biggest achievements in the last 2 years was fixing Third Mainland Bridge to the state it is today.
Yeah.
I remember, it was like a war zone. There were potholes everywhere. It wasn't lit. Third Mainland Bridge today, thanks to the federal government and engineer Dave Umahi. Yes, it's nice. It's world class. Street lights are working 24/7. So I have to give that to him. And then the issue of the Independence Bridge closure.
Yeah.
Remember what happened to
how
you
he
guys?
miraculously handled it.
In traffic for
I remember the day.
Record, what day was it again?
2nd of April.
Yes.
Today makes it 1 month.
the Lagos State governor.
Moment of pain.
Yes, I can never forget that day. A number of us, we slept in traffic, Lagosians. People were in traffic for 5 hours, 6 hours. Mothers had to go. Some mothers had to call family members to hold their children.
It was horrific.
Oh, it was the most.
But thanks to Super Dave, have you seen that is snapback with the D, Engineer
Super D.
Super D, Engineer Dave Umahi. After the governor of Lagos State said, if you don't have business, don't come to the island, it's going to take 1 month or 2 months. Engineer Dave did it in just 2 days. So you can see Engineer Dave knows what he's doing, he's working. But now Engineer Dave challenged himself. He said, Lagos-Calabar Highway, 700 kilometers. There will be lots of sand filling, there will be bridges that will be built. It's one of those National Geographic mega projects.
Absolutely.
Southern coast of Nigeria, 700 kilometers. Engineer Dave, I don't know where you got this bravery from. You could do Independence Bridge, but this is 700 kilometers. Independence Bridge. He said it will be completed in 2026.
If you don't aspire, you can never acquire.
Or perspire to Maguire.
And if you don't do this, you will retire.
But seriously, how is he possible, humanly possible, knowing the scope of the work, that it will be ready in 2026? Let's give him 31st of December 2026. Is it even a possibility?
I will never say anything is impossible. I'm not.
Have you passed that road?
I have.
The back?
I have, at the back.
You've driven all to the end?
No, not to the end. Okay. But I realize that there sometimes you want to cross over to maybe Goshen or all those other estates at the back. You then have to find a way around it. I even don't know what will happen to all those other estates, because they are building in front of the estate. I have no idea what will happen to them. But I don't want
to... I don't even know. Those guys in there say, imagine if they want to go and buy suya.
You know?
How will you cross that estate?
You know the funny thing? I almost got a house. Not got, because I never buy a house. I almost rented a house across one of those. In fact, I had paid, but God helped me. I collected my money back eventually. And because now a number of them, I have people who are living there that are complaining about the fact that when it rains, you know, because they're still working on the roads, it causes a lot of disruption, there are floods and all that. I'm not an expert in this situation, but I would say that I appreciate his positivity, his enthusiasm. We could never have imagined, before now, when we hear that bridges have been closed for repairs, we expect weeks and months for them to be shut down. In fact, the Independence Bridge, we all expected it was going to take about a minimum of 2 months. So when that happened, beyond the pain we were feeling in the moment, all we're thinking was, how are we going to sustain this for another 1 or 2 months? But Engineer Dave Umahi showed us that it could be done in 48 hours. So I'm going to hold my breath on this one.
But guys, don't be too happy, because the Independence Bridge, they might have to revisit it again. You know, it's it possibly many have said it's just a makeshift, because they still have to deal with the...
I think work is ongoing, but under structural work.
Absolutely. But I agree, Gbenga. I mean, in other words, what we've done here is also to let our viewers know that if you do well, we will celebrate you. Okay? We would applaud you. It's not a case of saying, and this is not to politicize this conversation and say, oh yeah, that's what the president's administration has done for Nigerians. No, let's get it right. Yes, it's under the president's administration, but we're talking about he's just one out of 40-something ministers.
And there's still major highways.
Yes.
I mean, this is a new construction that are crying for attention. Lagos, Oyo Ife, Ibadan Ife Express Road, for example, and so many people are complaining about the state of roads around the country. But I mean, this is a fantastic project. There's even space for future rail projects, and they're using concrete. And these roads are the diameter is very thick, so it would last for a long time. And they're also fitted with street lights. So it's a modern, it's setting the standard for road construction.
I mean, if you drive there now, I've been privileged to just pass the few kilometers and all that. And you can already tell that once this road is done, it's going to be fantastic. But then again, I'm still going to go back to saying what I usually say. I think the government, this is what the government is supposed to do. Is what the government should be known for, not just in Lagos, but across. When the Abia State governor, put the lights and streets and everybody was shouting, it's good. But we expect that others will follow this
and
same
many
example.
more of this
follow the example
projects,
and do the right thing. That's exactly what we expect from them. But anyway, well, we'll keep talking about this. Let's see if 2026 is going to be
so we're hoping we want the best for it, because at the end of the day, there were so many, but even as we applaud the optimism, the drive to finish this in 2026, also just to highlight that the government also has a responsibility to the people who lost their source of livelihood and their businesses.
That's another one.
The compensation. So I don't think that's an issue.
Till today.
Yes, the last update, except something else has changed, but the last update that we got was that Landmark did not get their compensation
We
yet.
even had a town hall on this issue.
Yeah. So just to mention that whilst we're applauding them for being optimistic about finishing within record time, it's also important that the people who unfortunately had to lose their businesses and their source of livelihood, they get some form of compensation.
So just before we move on, I remember President Obasanjo criticizing the cost and the road. They said, you know what the government's response was? The government spokesperson said, when that road is complete, that former President Obasanjo should not use it. He should use the old Lagos, Baton True, or Benin, while we will be using that new road. I really can't wait to go on a drive with Joe. Let's go and eat some at the Kaikang.
I know. You go to, there's this place in Calabar. Have you been to Calabar?
Yes, I have.
Okay, there's this place. I have forgotten that place where they go
Marina.
to have... No, where they go to have palm wine and...
By the seaside?
No, it's like by the bush. You have palm wine, bush meat. There's a major one. I'll remember the name before the show ends.
Anyway, that's
okay,
fine.
But someone is in the news and not for good reasons. It's the son of the president, Seyi Tinubu, who has had accusations leveled against him for interrupting with the activities of the National Association of Nigerian Students. Now, Comrade Isah Atiku Abubakar has alleged that the president's son interrupted with the inauguration, asked the hotel not to allow them use the space. Many strong allegations that the president's son has denied and has refuted. What we've seen now is, interestingly, you will note that there are factions within NANS. One faction seems to be pro the president's son, another faction seems to be against the president's son. Recently, again, video emerged on social media of an accusation being leveled against the son of the president, saying that he attacked, this young man had said that he had attacked him and had, that they had beaten him. I don't know if you...
I saw some of the videos.
Yes, some of the videos. They're very strong allegations.
Yeah, and just look at that.
These are
beating black and blue, and this is serious, grievous bodily harm. So if we expect the law enforcement agencies to do their due diligence, go in, investigate this matter, and let justice be served, because no one has a right to inflict injury and pain on another citizen.
But it's not our words. We're not the ones saying it here. He's also come out to film a video making these allegations, and here's the video.
I met with Seyi and the Minister for Youth. The Minister for Youth, when he saw me, he hugged me in Lagos. We talked, and I was to be offered 100 million naira. But the thing is, it's not all about money. There are things which I stand for. You cannot ask me to begin to promote a president who has not done something for me to say he has done it. If he does something good, I will promote him. We will support him as the president and commander-in-chief. But where he is, you cannot say I should keep quiet. I won't do that. That we couldn't settle. And they felt that I'm being stubborn not to accept money and to come to Lagos without accepting money and going back. So they planned my abduction, and on the 15th, I was abducted. Of April, I was abducted, stripped naked, beaten seriously, in collaboration with the MD of NTA. The MD of NTA, I was packaged to NTA to make involuntary statement that I am no longer, that I have renounced my position as NANS President. I did that to gain my freedom, but immediately I released a press statement that I was forced, it was under duress, and because I was naked, I was beaten. They claimed that they will share the video. That Seyi told them that they can share the video, nothing will happen. And that even if they kill me, he will order, that was the word Ladoja used. It is Ladoja that is telling me this, that he will instruct, yes, he will instruct the Inspector General of Police to cover it up. And if he doesn't do that, that he will go. So I now asked, even this morning when somebody was telling me that, you know who Seyi is, I say, yes, Seyi is an ordinary citizen like myself. He's not occupying any official position. I told them yesterday, I made it clear, that even if I'm coming to this hall and I'll be shot, I'll still come to this hall. At the end, today, the inauguration is concluded and I'm the NANS president. I want Nigerians to know what has happened and that we are not going to give up and that Seyi can do anything he wants to do. He's already in this hotel. This inauguration wouldn't have held. You can see the organization is not correct. See the way the things was hardly done. I told the MC, quickly start. Don't do no protocol. Do the inauguration as long as though they will be arresting or killing the NANS president now, who controls over 40 million Aluta forces. So I want to, for the want of time, I don't want to take much of our time, but I've told you in brief. So we cannot say, the most important thing which my government, which we want to do as leaders of NANS, is that we will fight the cultists. We will take away cultism from NANS, the touts from NANS.
Very strong allegations there.
Very strong
if you watched the full video at some point, you could see how very resolute he was. He said that, that he hopes that law enforcement to do what they need to do, that it be investigated. They should either do what is right or they should terminate his life. Like, that's how resolute and passionate he sounded about the situation. These are very strong allegations that need to be looked into. And many people would say, or I'm not surprised we hear arguments about this being defamation, but if he comes out and says and makes an allegation of this magnitude, it is important that it be investigated. Yes. It should not be swept under the carpet.
And the names of all the personalities mentioned. You also mentioned the DG of NTA, and I'm wondering what does he have to do with such things?
Because what an investigation will do is it will bring the truth to light. The investigation would either reveal that they are culpable or that he is culpable for defaming them. And either way, somebody has to face the law. There has to be an investigation. Now, the other angle to this interview, very interesting, another person, another factional president granted an interview. And of all the things, I think part of why I shut down during his interview was where he said, that Seyi Tinubu is bringing himself low to eat and dine with the Nigerian youth. I'm paraphrasing, but he said that all the other presidents, we don't know the other former president's children, that Seyi Tinubu is the only president's son that we know that is trying to interact with the president's son or bringing himself low. And I thought that that was a poor representation of himself and a poor representation of the Nigerian students, because there's nothing like bringing yourself low to talk to. So that means Nigerian students, you people are down there, you are low. You don't have any self-esteem for yourselves. I thought he could have communicated that better.
Yeah, and then
I'm hoping that
he's a private citizen. We've had children of other presidents that we don't even know their names. And
we don't need to know their names. We don't really care about knowing the names of the children of the president.
One thing we have failed to recognize here as a people, not us as journalists, is because Nigerians have failed to realize that the National Association of Nigerian Students has now been politicized. That is what it is.
For them to have factions.
That is the fact. It has now been politicized. You may wonder, why is it politicized? You can hear what one of the factional, presidents, because now you have two factions.
Yes.
It's funny. It's been in time immemorial where this same NANS has been struggling with being politicized. Here on Breakfast Central, we've had some of the NANS representatives, secretary, former president had joined us from way back in the former studios, and they kept talking about how, this particular faction is in charge and so on and so forth. And coincidentally, this happened before the elections in 2023. If you could go back, you see that that's where you can see the genesis of all of these problems. Now, you have two factional leaders, in quotes, presidents. And it baffles me, the video we just watched, the man sounded more like a politician than one who was willing to represent the students.
Are you talking of this one that made the allegation?
Of course, and so on. I mean, it's my opinion.
But it is political.
Yeah,
but being honest.
Yeah, I'm going there. And it sounded more like a politician, like he came and wanted to read his mandate and so on. This is what I'm doing and so on. Now, that's fine. But what we are saying here is, should NANS have any association with either political factions or parties? The answer should be no. Because
I would disagree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going somewhere, because NANS should know to have a complete representation of every student, regardless of where they are and so on. But what we're seeing now is there's a party that's saying no.
The word is, should they be endorsing?
Should you be endorsing? Yes,
political parties.
So there's a party.
They will interface with.
There's a faction that I don't have a problem with interfacing. Being, I'm saying, that just like you said, let's use the right word, endorsing. Fine. Now you have a faction that is supporting the president's son. You have a faction that is not supporting the president's son, and now they've left the main thing that they're supposed to be doing,
championing the cause of the Nigerian students,
to better the lives of Nigerian students and ensure that they get the dividends of what it means from governance. And now you are focusing on, oh, it's my party, oh, this one did that, this one did that. It's such a shame. It's sad. But my final question is, who would investigate this one?
So again,
exactly. Do they have dealing with the personalities?
Who will investigate?
DG of the NTA, the president's son, even though he's a private, ordinary citizen.
This is a call now.
The Nigerian police, they are very good at picking and selecting, and EFCC too. We talked about the Okoya children, the Naira abuse issue. Would they follow through this petition and investigate the matter thoroughly?
Because this is an alleged statement. This is a very strong statement to be made.
So these are strong allegations, and like I said, if he's made a strong allegation of this magnitude, it's important that it's investigated. Why? To either vindicate him and ensure that these names he has mentioned be brought to face the law, or to reveal that he's lying and that what he has said is criminal defamation and he needs to face the law. Either way, somebody or some persons need to face the law. There needs to be a proper investigation. Back to the politicizing of NANS. Interestingly, the politics that, in those institutions are a lot more complex than we think.
Intense.
Very intense. I was a politician in university. And
did you win?
Yes, I was a governor for 2 tenures, and I was in the Senate for 1 tenure.
Your departmental?
My whole governor.
Okay.
Yeah, first, I mean, thankfully, I didn't have to play deep politics because I ran unopposed, right? The first time...
You were that good.
Well, I worked. So it is what I always say here. I dare anybody to go back in time and go and check my record as governor. At the time that I was there, I did projects that no other governor before me...
your final year?
No, I was my 3rd year. No other governor before me had done. Right? So what I'm saying is it's highly political. They have a number of people under their influence, a number of students under their influence. And they could wield it in favor of, whatever agenda. The SUG is an institution on its own. So we actually have we have elections, we have them come declare their manifesto. So I don't know that we can completely remove politics from NANS. However, like you said, I think it's important that the students, the members, and sometimes look at this one and wonder, are these people really like, are they students?
I need to are you saying that based on their age?
No.
Maybe they're doing that. I think PhD students are also allowed to.
I need to find out. I'm not very...
So maybe they're on their 2nd or 3rd PhD.
Yeah, I need to find out the criteria for electing these people into these leadership bodies. But I think that, and I'm hoping that the Nigerian students can see that their responsibility is, one, to build an organization that represents the rights of the Nigerian student. The voice of the Nigerian student can speak and ring loudly and hold the government to account in situations where, for example, they have strike and they're saying that ASU has gone on strike, the federal government has not been able to uphold its end of the deal. Those are the areas we need to see.
Exactly. These are the issues
because those are the things that affect the Nigerian students.
Talking about students, as we wrap up and go straight to our top stories for today, there is a breaking news, by the way. If you recall, just yesterday, the ICPC said they had recovered some funds from NEL Fund. Some funds that they recovered. Student loans, that the monies have been recovered. Well, the breaking news is that they've come out to say that there's no discrepancy with the student loan. In other words, people are saying that they are tracking back that there was no discrepancies with the funds and so on. So it's
I guess that's...
it's a back and forth.
Well, we can always have NEL Fund. Good thing is when the student loan was first disbursed, we had NEL Fund come on the show. We can always rearrange an interview and to have some more further clarity in this regard.